Good morning. Today is Sunday, February 12th. I have been severely overweight. This is my lumbar puncture story. Um, Recently on Thursday, I had a lumbar puncture procedure done. And with that, this is where they take the needle and they go in your spine to test your CF fluid to see what diseases that may lie in the spinal cord. And a lot of answers that you're looking for can be found in the spinal cord. In my case, um, some things came back. I don't even know what came back normal and things like that. I haven't even gotten any answers yet. But since Thursday, I have been feeling sick as a dog. I have been feeling bad. Now, mind you, this is my second one that I've had done. The first time was last year around August when everything first was initiated, and they didn't really find anything then, or at least they didn't tell my family and I, because as when everything first started, left straight from the hospital, went right into inpatient rehab, just left out of the hospital as a diagnosed acute case, meaning that what was going in my body came on so strong they didn't think I was going to make it. They had to hurry up and give me the Cyomedrol, which is the steroid infusion. So from last year till now, I'm still walking around feeling like a target on my back with no answers. But thank God I have a great neurologist who is going beyond the call of duty. He is doing everything above and beyond to try to figure out what is wrong. So he's not even sure that I have MS, but that's the reason why he wanted to have the lumbar procedure done, because he didn't have anything to go on. Even when I obtained my records from the previous hospital, there was nothing that he could compare to try to show any progression or any changes from last time till now. Only thing he was able to do was that I have records from the last two relapses that I've had. October, and when I went back around Christmas time, Christmas Day. And you can see some of the lesions, like half the lesions on my brain. Some of those have shrunk it down, which is good news, but other ones have not gone down the size. And then a lot of his main concern is that the ones on my spine seem to be getting bigger, or I keep growing new ones on my spine. That where my brain is like, okay, he's not really worried about that anymore. But now it could be my spinal cord that's causing me to have all these troubles and issues. So it's very discouraging, it's very aggravating not knowing what is going on. So he's thinking maybe from me having the pneumonia around the summertime last year, maybe it's not MS, even though I had a lot of MS symptoms. Maybe it could be TM, transverse myelitis. He doesn't know. Like, we was looking at my paperwork, and it was like the hospital wanted to do so many tests, and they didn't. And it's like things, like, I believe when I look back on it, like, wow, they would have did these tests that they said that they wanted to do, or at least would have told my family and I, we would have been so much closer to some kind of a definite answer, instead of we still being up in the air. You have so many things floating in the air, and it's like, okay, what do we grab? What do we obtain? What do we hold on to? We still walking around like, or talking on our back, still an unknown answer of not knowing where to go or what to do. And then now that, okay, definitely have been diagnosed with gastroparesis, like I have continuously lost a lot of weight. My weight is constantly daily going down, like I'm losing 2 or 3 pounds daily, which is dangerous. I'm still not being able to hold food. If I take something very small, like just a small sip of any type of liquid, I'm full. Like, I feel like I have to throw it up. Can't really eat a whole lot of food. If I do, it's not going to digest. It's not going to break down. It's just going to sit there. It's like having a stomach flu 7 days a week, 365, and no matter what you do, you feel no relief. That is how I feel every day. And with the lumbar puncture, I wasn't looking forward to going through it, but I look at it like, if it brings me and my family some kind of closed door, some kind of relief, some kind of breathing thereof, what is going, okay, only thing he could tell me and my family is that We know something autoimmune. Yes, we realize that. We know that my body is attacking itself. But okay, you tested me for lupus. Okay, that came back negative. Y'all are flirting between the MS and the transverse myelitis. Okay, what is it? Every day I'm developing brand new symptoms. I wasn't having troubles breathing at first. Now it's like, I constantly get out of breath, which is, I think it just comes with the fatigue and the exhaustion that I feel 7 days a week. But now it's like where I'm definitely dealing with palpitations. And think about it, if you're not running errands, if you're not exercising, if you're just laying down and you just automatically feel like boom, 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 that's a severe, scary feeling. And I mean, I'm not diabetic. I'm constantly getting checked for that. Excuse my glasses on, quickly to the side. I'm just really not feeling good. But, it's scary with every day you having something brand new that goes on and you going to the doctor and now, like a GI doctor. And we went to get tested done for the one day surgery for lumbar puncture. You tell me, well, maybe you would do good with a rheumatologist. So it is so aggravating and depressing not to be coming closer to solving this. It's like we still just getting started, and it's super discouraging and super depressing. But I have to keep pressing. I have to keep the faith. I have to keep reminding myself that this too shall pass, and I'm just gonna go through it and get the answers that we need. I probably mentioned in my other video that I was going to do a Bajio, but I haven't done it yet because now that I've had the testing done, he has to wait till the testing come back to see, and I appreciate him not just wanting to just ram any type of medication down my throat. Because see, with immunosuppressant therapy, once you do that, it's a catch-22. I mean, it helps your body to fight off whatever could be going on, but at the same time, it opens up a myriad of other symptoms because now your immune system is compromised and your body doesn't have the same strength of effect that it'll take to fight off a lot of things that we deal with on an everyday basis, or things that float out there that we're normally protected against. So it's a scary situation of not knowing where to go and what to do. So, but once the answers come back, we know something is autoimmune, you just don't know what. So, whether it's taking Albagio, whether it's doing chemo, whether it's doing plasmapheresis, whatever endeavor that I have to take to get myself healthy and healed and whole, then I'm going to do it. Nobody wake up one day and say a whole life is going to change. You're just going to wake up and go to work and just live your life, and then one day everything is just ransacked. I mean, how do you think you feel? Just everything has just fallen apart all of a sudden, and you don't know what to do, and somebody have to tell you, well, you're doing public disability. Like, wait, what? And then you have this disability tag in your vehicle, and you're feeling like an old person. I mean, you're alternating between a walker and a wheelchair, and people giving you stares and the understanding of what you're dealing with every day, and you're constantly fatigued, the things that you want to do, and it's like you're canceling plans because you are severely exhausted. I mean, you are tired, and I mean, it's beyond the leg pain. It's beyond everything that you do on an everyday basis. It's time a million times more, and it's hard to explain a lot of times if you're not in the person's shoes to understand how they are dealing with whatever they're going through in their body. Back to what I was saying about the lumbar puncture. That was my second one. The first time, I didn't immediately have a headache right after, because normally after you have lumbar puncture, one of the top main things that people complain about is a headache. I had a headache later on that night, but with this and that I had a longer needle, and with this one here I had a shorter needle. So it's not the same doctor. It's at a different hospital. My neurologist had done this, so I want to get that straightened out. This is not the same hospital, but with the doctor that did it, he was very nice, very sweet, very understanding. That my parents and I explained the whole thing, very nice. I initially wanted to be on anesthesia because, as I told him ahead of time, I cannot deal with having my body in a fetal position. So I didn't have to go through that on this time around here. But he didn't want me to be sedated. I mean, as into being under anesthesia, because he wants his patients to be able to respond to him, let him know, okay, well, are you feeling this here? Are you okay? Okay, well, are you with me? He wants to be able to respond and make sure that he can pinpoint whatever's going on. And in my case, you're like, you're going to tilt the table, feel like it's Cause I get to roller coaster because the slides. And the difference with him is that they, the first time around, they, touch you in different areas to see, okay, what is the most perfect area to go through. But with him, he did an X-ray with something that I didn't know, which was a little bit more invasive and a much better technique because then they could know and pinpoint exactly where to go. And I rather deal with leg pain 7 days a week, 24/7, all day. But whatever area that he hit gave me significant hip pain. And while I was laying there, I was my little kid. Think about it, they can only numb it so far. They can't go too deep, but they can only numb it so far in the area surrounding where they want to do the needle puncture at. And as he was proceeding, I was okay. They talked to you, tried to distract your mind from the pain, and everything was okay. And you're feeling the discomfort as it's going in and everything. And he's talking to you throughout the whole thing, so he's communicating with you. But wherever that he hit, like the hip pain came on like boom, 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 boom while he was doing it, and while he was finishing, the hip pain just excruciatingly towered. It just became worse and worse. And while I've been rolled back to my room, it was just at an all-time high where I couldn't, I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't even turn my neck, my back, and they were saying, that is something that's not uncommon. A lot of people have that afterwards. But the thing that was so concerning with me is that, they had people complain, but I was in so much severe pain. They were so scared that I could have had a hematoma, which means the blockage that could have happened, or maybe a tumor could have happened, not before, but something that could have happened as a result of the procedure. So the husband did an MRI of my spine. And nothing came up to say I had the blockages, so that was good. But really, my body was in severe pain where I could not turn. I did not want them to touch me, how bad I was. I did not want to be touched. They wasn't doing me anything. It was just the fact that I was in so much pain that no matter where I turned, I was just out of it. So if I was laying on the right side and all the pain was on the right side, and they tried to turn me to the left, I was like, ow, 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 ow. Don't do that. So no matter what I did, I was like in the catch 22. But lumbar punctures are normally safe procedures. They are just very sensitive areas that they're touching an area on your lower back, close to your butt bone, and it's very sensitive. And some complications happen. Not to everybody. Everybody is not the same. Like I said, on my first time around, I didn't have the headache immediately after. It happened later on at night. With this here, I had the headache, but the hip pain more outweighed the headache. And the pain in my neck where I couldn't turn, where I couldn't move. And they was thinking, well, we don't want to give you any medication at that moment. So I laid there for almost an hour and a half. I felt like I was about to go out of here because the pain was so intense. And not because, we don't want to give you any medication. It was just that he was concerned that some kind of severe complication could have been happening. And if you give him medication, that could be masking it where something else could have happened worse. So once I was able to move my toes and to move my legs, which gave him like a sigh of relief. He was like, okay, well, let's help and give him medication. So they helped and gave me Toradol. I had Percocet, and I also had morphine. But my pain level was not going down. It just kept rising up. So they wanted to keep me overnight when I went. And so when I left from up there, the procedure was like for 9 that morning. I had to get home to almost after 10 that night. Because after we left from upstairs, because once the procedure is done, they let you stay in the recovery room for about 3 hours tops. And in my case, I was there for about another hour because I had them so concerned about how my body was reacting to everything that was done. So they sent me down to emergency, and they did more blood work on me. That's where they did the MRI. I said, okay, everything came back. But see, the contradiction was that the doctor who did the procedure, he wanted me to stay in the hospital. But since they did not see anything that was wrong, that would have transpired as a reaction to saying, okay, well, you're just having normal body pain that happens, after this here. Once you get these medications in your systems, and once they start working, you'll be released to go home. I didn't want to go home because I was severely scared. Because, like I said, this was not my first one. This is my second one, but I don't deal with hip pain. I deal with everything else but hip pain. And for it to be that severe where I wasn't turning my neck, where they had to literally pick me up and, change me and carry me and everything like that, it was just scary. I'm looking at my mom crying, my dad's crying, their eyes red. They calling on my family and everything like that, let me know what's going on. It's you feel like your life is passing by. You know that God got you and you have a peace, but you're not just gonna lay there and say that you're not afraid, because you are, because they tell you what, there could be something going on. It's like, okay, I want the medication, but at the same time, I appreciate you being honest with me, not doping me up or anything until you figure out what exactly is going on. And when I say I had them worried, I had them worried. I had everybody worried. All the nurses that came in who were working on my case, who were helping me, they was like, oh, you scared us so bad. Your eyes and the way that you were when you came in the room, you know, through the procedure. After a while, they came in the room, I said, every 15, 20 minutes checking on me. And once they did the IV, and the pain started to gradually go down. Not instantly, but it took its time. Then I was okay. But, like I said, complications, simple complications are just the back pain. You have the headache. You will feel like the numbness and the tingling stiffness more than what you will feel with every day if you don't have that. But if you don't have those problems already, then those will be the side effects that'll come afterwards. And that's for me, the stiffness of the neck and definitely the hip pain was something that just came on all of a sudden, acute, during the procedure, and definitely stronger after everything was done. So I have been through hell in a handbasket these past couple of days. So from Thursday, when everything initially started, and being released to go home, and then Friday, I just kind of rested and let the medication just kind of stay in my system to try to get the help that I needed. Yesterday, Saturday, I was in so much pain that we called the ambulance. I was going to go to the hospital in emergency. But then we decided, okay, I didn't go to the hospital because I just decided, okay, well, I'm going to just take a medication. Because come to find out, the medication at the hospital prescribed me, I was allergic to when we brought it to Walgreens. And they said, well, you shouldn't give this to her because there's a lot of goods that she's allergic to. When my brother told me that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So you want it, you need it, your body's in pain, but I'm not desperate enough to make myself worse than what I'm already going through to find out I can have an allergic reaction more than what my body's already dealing with now. So I took a Percocet, and the Percocet took a minute to kick in, but I came back and laid down, because when you sit up, because of the CF fluid being drained off of your brain, off of your spine, you instantly feel like, you think about, you stand up quickly, you feel woozy, you feel wheezy, you feel like you're about to faint, you're about to pass out. I'm constantly just laying down on my back, because sitting up and